Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, when I start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakudash. Double honors to your apostles and elders, a great millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith, and Shalom to all the sincere believers, which includes the scattered Israelites who are amongst these other nations and look like these other nations. No doubt this is just going to be a quick breaking news lesson because the US and Israel just attacked Iran. So much for all those peace talks, And this is exactly what I said in a previous lesson that I did about the US and Iran situation, was that these peace talks never work. 1 minute they're sitting at a table talking about, oh yeah, we're having peace talks and things are going great, and next thing you know, somebody's getting bombed. This just goes to show that we are not in a time of peace. We are in a time of war. That's why these situations keep occurring. So through the Spirit, I'm going to read some of this article, get some precepts, and Lord's will, you're edified. Says U.S. and Israel attack Iran as Tehran retaliates across the Middle East. Says U.S. President Donald Trump called for regime change in Tehran, telling Iranians the hour of your freedom is at hand. Said U.S. and Israel strike Iran. The U.S. and Israel have attacked Iran. Israel said its strikes targeted Iran's supreme leader, president, and head of the armed forces. The U.S. is planning for several days of attacks, sources tell CNN. President Donald Trump described the U.S. military campaign as massive and ongoing and warned American lives may be lost. He also called on Iranians to take over your government. So basically, he's condoning for the Iranians to take over the government. But if American citizens tried to do that, because this is the most corrupt government on the face of the planet, then they would be deemed as domestic terrorists. You see how hypocritical Esau is? He'll tell other people to do it, but then if the people in the land where he is do that, then they're domestic terrorists. Oh man, I can't wait until the Lord erases this devil, man. It says Iran retaliates. Iran launched an unprecedented wave of strikes toward Israel and U.S. targets across the Middle East. Explosions were reported in the UAE, Qatar, Dubai, and Bahrain, where video shows the moment a missile struck a U.S. Navy base. Says the United Arab Emirates called the conflict a historic moment in the Middle East, saying world leaders had failed to ensure the region's stability. The leaders of some U.S. allies expressed concern, while some Arab nations condemned Iran's retaliation. And it's like, no, you can't condemn their retaliation. If the U.S. and Israel struck them first, then they have every right to defend themselves. Like, I'm so sick of this whole, the so-called white man just gets to hurt and kill whoever he wants, but then when people retaliate against him and defend themselves, they're the criminals. Like, no, that's not how that works. That is not how that works. And that's why these Edomites, they deserve every bit of judgment that the Lord has in store for them, because they are the most wicked, most hypocritical, vile creatures on this planet. But this right here, like I said earlier, is just a sign that we are not in a time of peace. We are in a time of war. Race wars, civil wars, and world war. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Jumping down to verse 8. A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. And there is no peace. There is no peace. There's division and there's uproars and there's violence. There is no peace. Peace is nowhere to be found. And all of this is happening because the Heavenly Father Yahweh is a man of war. And this is what he wants. Exodus 15:3. The Lord Yahweh is a man of war. The Lord Yahweh is his name. And that's right. And that's why what just happened has happened. There's not going to be any peace in the quote unquote Middle East. That's not going to happen. There's only going to be war until the Lord comes back and brings down these nations. And more importantly, when the Lord brings down Esau, because Esau is a warmonger. A lot of these Edomites, like Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump, they are criminals. And the only way that they can stop themselves from being persecuted for their crimes is they have to be their country has to be in the middle of a war. So that's why they're doing this. Because they don't want to be held accountable for all the wickedness that they have done. But what they don't understand is that what they're doing is only adding to that list of crimes. Because apparently Trump did not get congressional approval to launch strikes upon Iran. He just did it because that's what he wanted to do. He didn't go through the proper channels. He just decided that that's what he wanted to do, so he did it. And this is not the first time that he's done that, where he's just been like, oh, I want to bomb these people, so then he did it. He didn't go and talk to Congress about that and go through the proper channels of letting them decide whether or not going to war was actually worth it. And I saw somebody on TikTok say that Trump does not care about these soldiers, these U.S. troops that are going to die in this unnecessary war that he's decided to start. You know, he wants to get on TV and talk about, oh, he supports the soldiers. No, he doesn't. He constantly is putting them in these positions where they're going to get killed, you know. And ultimately, of course, this all goes back to the Heavenly Father. You know, the Heavenly Father is the one calling the shots and pulling the strings, but he's using Trump to do it. And because majority of people don't understand that the Lord is the one calling the shots and pulling the strings, they're just looking at Trump. And they're like, hey, you know, this guy, he's not fit to be in rulership because look at what he's doing. And then, of course, you know, you're going to have Trump's little fan base, you know, MAGA, that are cheering him on because they don't understand that him doing that doesn't benefit them in any way. Their sons and their daughters are going to get killed because of what he's doing. But we have to keep in mind, this is the nature of Esau. He's a violent person. He loves violence. He is the Lord's sword to oppress these other nations. And that's exactly what Esau is doing. He's doing exactly what the Lord created him to do. And this comes as no surprise to those of us of the hopeful elect, that Trump would do that he would strike out Iran, because he did the same thing to Venezuela. This man does not get congressional approval to be doing the things that he's doing. But he's doing it because he doesn't care. He has that mindset of he can just do whatever he wants, and basically to hell with protocol and, you know, and laws, you know. And that's why the Lord is going to allow all these other nations to come together and erase America off the face of the earth. And Israel is going to get nuked as well, and all those heathens are going to get wiped out of that land too. Because that's the tag team right there, Israel and America. And basically America works for Israel. If Netanyahu decides that he wants something to happen to Iran or anyone else, America is the first one to sign up for that. And a lot of Americans are waking up to that. Basically, America is owned by Israel. Because it's funny how Trump is always saying, oh, America first. Meanwhile, going after Iran has nothing to do with America. It has to do with Iran. It has to do with Israel's problem with Iran. That's what it is. Israel and Iran have issues, but Israel knows that they can't handle Iran on their own because Iran is backed by Russia and China. So Israel drags America into it. And, here we are. But see, those of us of the Hopeful Elect, we're not worried about it. We're not scared. We trust in the Lord. We trust that the Lord is going to keep us safe and protected in these times. But, like the scriptures say, we are in some perilous times because these are the last days. 2 Timothy 3:1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. And when you look up the definition of perilous, it means full of danger or risk. It means dangerous, hazardous, unsafe, hard to bear times. And we are in some dangerous and hazardous and unsafe times. And it's just going to become more dangerous and more unsafe. But as long as those of us of the Hopeful Elect have the hedge of protection of the Lord over us, then we'll be fine. And this is why brothers are constantly saying, stay locked in. Stay locked into these scriptures. Stay prayed up. Continue to read and fast and watch and be circumspect, because the chaos is just going to intensify on this earth. And like it says, Slovakia, in Psalms 118:8, it is better to trust in the Lord Yahweh than to put confidence in man. And these simple-minded people here in America, they think that Esau is going to protect them. And it's like, no, Esau can't protect you. The only one who can protect you is the Heavenly Father, is the Heavenly Father Yahweh. He's the only one that can protect you, because all of the things that are happening are his judgments. He's the one making it happen. He's the one who determines who is affected by these things. So all the people that are going to get wounded and killed in these strikes that are happening between the U.S., Israel, and Iran, those people that are going to get wounded and killed, whether they're military personnel or civilians, the Lord is the one who determined that. All the men, women, and children who are about to die because of these strikes. But we always have to keep in mind that no matter what happens, as long as we are doing what's right in the eyes of the Lord, he's going to keep us safe. no harm is going to come to us. And as long as we continue to fear the Lord as well, because the scriptures do tell us about fearing the Lord. Proverbs 19:23, the fear of the Lord Yahweh tendeth to life, and he that hath it shall abide satisfied. He shall not be visited with evil. And there you go. If you're fearing the Lord and you're following the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, and you're daily rehearsing the righteous acts, and you're staying prayed up, and you're reading, and you're fasting, and you're straying from wickedness as best as you can, the Lord, he's going to take care of you, and he's going to protect you in these last days, in these perilous, dangerous, deadly, violent, scary times. But the rest of these people, they're going to die, plain and simple. Those whom the Lord is dealing with will be protected, and those whom the Lord is not dealing with will be destroyed. And this current situation that's happening is a prime example of that. Because a lot of people are about to be wounded and killed because of this. But this is all a part of the Lord's judgment. Because, like I read in Exodus 15:3, the Lord is a man of war. And like I read in Ecclesiastes 3:1, verse 8, that we are in a time of war. So we should expect more incidents like this to take place. Because that's the time and season that we have entered into. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Rakakudash, the water Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to our brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith, and shalom to all the sincere believers. Hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up, and Adawan Ratazah. Till next time, shalom.